Hey guys, I'm Little Art Demon and welcome to my channel. And how are you doing today? I hope you're doing well, and I also hope you're ready for some spooky stories. Because since tomorrow is Halloween, I decided to share something that happened when I was a child. It was between this story and my sleep paralysis stories, but I think this one will be a better fit for today. But please let me know in the comments if you'd like to know the sleep paralysis stories too. And before we get into the video, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like below too. Let's get started with the spooky story. And to make this video more interesting, I will share with you the real story, but also a fictional adaptation, like if there was a movie inspired by these events. But let's start with the facts, because I'm not here to lie to you. So here's the story of the White Lady. And I know that sounds like I'm about to tell a Karen story, but it's not that type of white lady. It all started when I was around 8 or 9 years old. I was in primary school, and that particular day we had a school field trip. I don't remember where it was, all I know is that we went to this garden. There were trees and plants all around, and it was a big space. And we had some time to run around freely. So me and my classmates started to explore the place. And we quickly found out something odd, or at least something scary to a bunch of kids. From what I remember, this was like a field with grass all around, and this part was kind of surrounded by trees on one side. So we didn't get into that part. It was hard to walk in as there were brambles with thorns and thick vegetation. But there was an opening in the trees. It almost looked like an entrance to the forest. We were, of course, scared to get in for two main reasons. The first one is that we didn't want to get into trouble with our teacher, and the second one is that we didn't know what or who was hiding in there. I do remember we could hear some sounds when we stood there. I'm not going to enhance the truth, I'm telling this story as truthfully as I can remember, but these sounds weren't paranormal. But we did hear some sort of screaming, which could have been just some other kids screaming in different parts of the park, and it somehow echoed in there. I can't precise that. I do remember those weren't the only sounds we heard from there, but I can't recall what they were. This happened over a decade ago, so some details got lost in time. But me and my classmates decided to play some games too. We probably played some sort of tag game, but the one important for this story is hide and seek. And of course, there's nothing wrong that can go wrong with a hide and seek game. It doesn't break the horror movie survival rule of sticking together. But we didn't know that rule, and we also didn't know we were about to experience something strange, to say the least. One of my friends decided to hide behind a bush. Nothing odd about that, but soon after she was struggling to get back on her feet. I went to check on her together with some classmates. We thought she had tripped or lost balance because we were at the side of a small hill, so there was an angle to the ground, but that was not the case. And what she described after that scared me for years. She said she felt someone push her, and as she fell, she caught a glimpse of this white figure behind her. We hadn't seen anything, but when you looked at her, she was already getting back up. And at that moment, me, that friend, and another classmate formed a group, a paranormal investigation group. And we looked around to try and find that mysterious creature that we named a Senhora Branca, which translates to the White Lady. And from that day on, we are constantly looking for her at school and at home. I particularly remember that we would look at the clouds and she would be hiding in there. In case you're wondering, her appearance, in our imagination at least, was kind of like a Dementor but all white. She was this floaty creature covered in some sort of fabric, no face showing but with hands that could push and grab people. There were no more strange events, but we would always share our sightings. Mostly in the clouds, since she was white she could camouflage there very easily. We eventually finished primary school and went to different schools after that. But there was one place where we would occasionally cross paths. Sunday school, which honestly was way more traumatizing than this whole thing. Another video idea? I don't know, let me know if you like that. But anyway, one day, maybe a couple of years later when I was around 10 or 11, I came across her and we talked for a bit. And I asked her if she had seen the White Lady during those years. And she brushed it off, said it was nothing, and she probably just tripped and saw a plastic bag floating around. You know, nothing but a kid's imagination doing its magic. And even if I do agree that we weren't seeing anything in the clouds, for example, I have to say that her explanation didn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, does the White Lady feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind? I don't think so. A plastic bag doesn't push anyone, and there were no plastic bags at the place anyway. But that was the last time I ever spoke about this event. I remember it every once in a while, but this is the first time I actually talked about it in years. What do you think happened? I honestly don't know. It could have been just a young child lying to not feel embarrassed for a clumsy trip over a bush. I wasn't the one pushed, so I can't give you that answer, but you can let me know what you think really happened in the comments. And now I'll share with you how I think this could be adapted into a movie. You know, horror movie inspired by a true story type of thing. I always love how those are like the scariest movies ever and the story has almost nothing to do with it. But anyway, let me share with you the movie adaptation of this story. It will revolve around this teacher, and one day she takes her class on a field trip together with other classes from the school. They go to this place, a castle that was now a museum and had a big park around, some sort of garden. They visit the museum part and then the kids are allowed to explore the outside space. And she's just keeping an eye on her students when she suddenly hears a commotion. One of the kids had fallen on a bush and got a small scrape on the knee. Nothing too out of the ordinary, kids trip and fall every day, and it wasn't anything serious. The kids did act a tad strange during the rest of the trip, they kept whispering among each other. The teacher was afraid they were plotting something, but that usually comes with giggles and someone usually speaks loud enough for her to hear. This time she had no idea what they were saying, but as they were about to leave, one of the kids was missing, the same one that fell. She asks where he went, and the other students say that he went to the woods. She decides to go fetch him and finds him just standing still facing away from her. She could hear him talk, but when she got close he had gone quiet. She got a creepy feeling from that place, but the kids seemed alright, so they went back. During the following days at school, she started noticing that kid was acting strange, and the other kids started to act the same too, like a virus spreading. They had new games and songs about someone called the White Lady. They made drawings like usual, there was nothing strange about that at first sight, but when they were seen against the light, there would always be this clear figure standing there. She started to feel scared. When she started to question the kids about all of those things, they would say it was the White Lady and she was teaching them new games. After some more questioning, she figures out that the White Lady came from that park. The teacher did some research on her own. She knew that castle had hosted many generations of people for centuries, and as all old buildings, people died there. One of them became this entity who attached herself to this kid, and now the teacher will have to find a way to stop this spirit and free the kids from that entity. And that's all the plot I could come up with. I think it could be a fun horror movie, very cliché with the ghost possession and spooky kids and all that, but I don't know. I felt like exploring this idea. But that's it for the spooky Halloween episode, so thank you so much for watching until the end. Comment down below what you think of this story and what you'll be doing for Halloween. And if you like this video, don't forget to leave your like and subscribe so you don't miss future uploads. Thank you again so much for watching, I truly appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!